it's a wave 1, 2, 3, or 4 trade. And you can take a look at your analysis, and you can say, what was the previous wave? I'm trading the 40-day wave, 40-day cycle. What was the previous cycle? What shape was that wave? And you can have a look at your analysis, and you can say the previous wave was a bull A. And you can see here that if you have a negative underlying trend and you're trading wave 1 and your previous wave was a bull A, then in fact you have a 37% chance of making a profitable trade, and over all the time you lost in fact almost $11,000 by making that trade. Can I tell you what is consistently a really good trade to make? A wave 1 trade under positive underlying trend conditions where your previous wave was a bull A trade. It only happened 28 times, but it has a 75% win ratio, and you made $60,000 just making that single trade. Okay, that is a consistently profitable trade, and I invite you to have a look at the results on the S&P 500. I hasten to point out. So let's just have a look here. If we were trading this 40-day cycle over here, then of course you can see that Sentient Trader is wanting to be traded this move out of the 80-day cycle. So if we're thinking of trading this 40-day cycle over here, then the previous pattern is the shape of the previous wave, which is the previous 40-day cycle, which is over there, and there is the shape of that previous wave. So when you're about to trade a wave, a cycle, you always know what the previous pattern was, what the previous shape was. There it is. It was a bear D, and our underlying trend here is neutral. I happen to know. Take it from me. And so let's have a look at our statistics and see what a neutral underlying trend would have achieved for us there. Neutral underlying trend following was it a bear E, did I say? I've forgotten what that shape was already. Bear D. And so let's have a look at a bear D. Oh, I don't have it there, but we do have it in our trading report. So let's go to our trading report and quickly see bear D. Bear D, there we go. I'm about to take a wave 1 trade, and I have a neutral underlying trend, and you can see that there was only one out of the 1,000 out of the 491 trades that were taken. Only one of them was taken under similar circumstances, and it was a losing trade. It lost $2,000, so that doesn't bode very well for this upcoming trade. Okay. However, that highlights a very, very important point about all of this, about your statistics and about using trading information, and that is the next point here in our PowerPoint presentation. Caution: be aware of statistical significance. It is really, really important. If you're looking at the statistics and you say, oh, well, I have a 25% chance of making a winning trade, and that winning trade is only going to be 8 bars long, and it's going to give me a percentage return of 8%. It's very, very important when you're looking at statistics, or when you're looking at the trading report, for instance, to have a look at the statistical significance. One trade out of 491 trades is not statistically significant, so you should ignore it. Okay, 28 trades out of 491 trades is possibly statistically significant. What is more likely to be statistically significant is trading a wave 1 trade following a bull A pattern under 0 underlying trend conditions, which has a 67% win ratio and made you $54,000. That's more likely to be statistically significant. It's very important to bear in mind whether the information is statistically significant. And if you have a look at our user's manual, you will find out what all these numbers mean. But just briefly, the first number is the number of trades that were found. The second number, the percentage, is the win ratio, 67% win ratio. The third number is the profit factor, average win against average loss, and the final number is the total profit or loss. Okay, so it is really important for you to consider the statistical significance of the numbers that you're looking at. So to wrap up today's session, I would like to remind you that we're considering the shapes of the cycles in the market. The shapes of the cycle in the market are calculated by Sentient Trader on the basis of the phasing analysis that it has performed. And it is always worth mentioning that it is all ultimately about the phasing analysis. If your phasing analysis is poor, then you're going to get poor trading and poor statistics, and your statistics are going to be meaningless. If your phasing analysis is good, then you're going to get meaningful results. So it is really important that you do everything you can to make sure the phasing analysis that you're seeing in your charts is the best it can possibly be. And so that wraps up the subject for today, which is understanding the market that you're trading using the sentient trading methodology, and looking at the statistics and looking at the results of your trading. So I hope that you all enjoyed the presentation, and I'm very happy, of course, to answer as many questions as you have. I'm happy to stay online for some time yet and answer any questions you may have, either about this or about anything else to do with Sentient Trader or the markets or whatever. There's a saying in English, or the price of cheese, or the price of ham. I don't know where that comes from, but anyway, that's something I'm not going to be able to speak about. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me for our 9th Trader Chat. I've enjoyed speaking yet again about Sentient Trader and the markets. I hope that you found it useful. And a reminder, yet again, there is no Sentient Trader Chat next week, because next week I'm going to be somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean, I think, on my way to Toronto or some big ocean. And so no Trader Chat next week. And please, I see many of you are current users of Sentient Trader. Get involved in that Sentient Trader Chat if you feel like chatting to each other and getting to know one another. Of course, if you'd rather not, then well. So if there are any questions, please put them into the chat window. Failing any questions, I will bring the Trader Chat webinar to an end, but I am very happy to answer any questions that you might have. And so let me... Thank you very much. The positioning of the 80-day trough on the 4th of October, Jose, that's really interesting, and I've been following your discussion on the forum about it, and I think that John Silent One is actually almost certainly correct that this trough is a trough of the 80-day cycle that happened here on the 4th of October, and of course Sentient Trader is analyzing it as such. My concerns about that are that the cycle is only 56 days long, and in fact my concerns have to do with what we were speaking about today, because if we take a look at the 80-day cycle under conditions of neutral underlying trend, although in fact the long-term underlying trend is negative. So if we have a look at the 80-day cycle under conditions of negative long-term underlying trend, let me have a look at the wave shape statistics. Bars per leg. I think I need to export it to an Excel spreadsheet and explain it to you in detail. But what I'm looking for here is under a long-term negative underlying trend, bars per leg per pattern. There we go. Under a long-term negative underlying trend, I expect there to be more than 56 bars in the total wave shape. basically, I need to export it to an Excel spreadsheet and perform sort of additional calculations. But the reason why I'm a little reluctant to say yes, I agree with Sentient Trader and with a silent one that is an 80-day trough, is that I believe that under negative underlying trend conditions, which this cycle has been, it is definitely a negative underlying trend. I believe that we should see a longer cycle than 56 days. It was only 56 days, but I believe it should be a bit longer. But of course now 63 days have passed since that, how many bars? 63 bars have passed since that trough. And so it looks very likely that silent one is in fact correct. Okay, great. So yeah, so that sort of explains my reservations, or at least it explains my reservations at the time, why I expected there to be another fall down. But unless the market comes down really quickly within the next few days, in which case this trough could be overshadowed. Potentially. I mean, I'm not making a market call here. I'm certainly not making a market call, but I'm saying if the market was to come down as quickly as that, which is not impossible looking at previous moves, if it were to come down as quickly as that and form a new trough here, then I think we're going to be saying that this trough would be the 80-day cycle trough. But of course, that's going to be answered very quickly within the next few days. And that's not a market call. I'm not saying I think the market is going to come down like that. Okay. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. If there are any other questions, please pop them in the chat window. Otherwise, I am going to close it. Don't be shy if you have any questions about anything. I don't mind. We have several new people with us today, so delighted to answer any questions. So thank you very much, everybody. And Stephen, my software does not have the analysis period icon on the upper right or the FLD median. How do I get them? I tried to download the most current build. Stephen, the reason why that has happened is regrettably because of a Windows issue. It has to do with the resolution of your screen, and I can replicate it for you. If I reduce the size of my Sentient Trader window, as I have done now, you'll see I have replicated your problem. There is no analysis period, and there is no FLD pattern and so on button at the top right there. You see they've disappeared. It's because Windows uses the resolution of your screen, and we have a lot of toolbar buttons, as you will notice in our toolbar. So what you need to do is click on this little small arrow that Windows puts there for you. Windows hides them, so you click on that little small arrow. I don't know if you can possibly see that in your NetViewer window, but there's a little small arrow there, drop-down arrow. If you click on that, then it shows you all of the menu items that you are missing, and you can click on them there. Okay. So hopefully, Stephen, that answers your question. There we go. So you can get those back. They are definitely there. They haven't disappeared. It's just that Windows doesn't have room to plot them on your screen. It might indicate that you should possibly consider changing the resolution of your screen, possibly, or just click on that button. Sentient Trader has been designed for fairly high resolution screens, but we don't make it a minimum system requirement, because even under low screen resolution